Hey, aloha, beautiful souls, and welcome back to Embers Rising, the podcast where we stoke the fire inside your soul to rise above resistance and create a life that's wildly aligned and unapologetically yours. I'm your host, Wendy J, and joining me today is a man who needs no introduction, but hey, I'll hype him up anyway because he's that good. My partner in business, life, and trail runs, Mr.
David Tucker.
I figured he wanted to say his name.
I know my lines, right?
Today's episode is all for my high-achieving, do-it-all listeners who feel like their to-do list is eating them alive. If you've been stretched way too thin, swirling in mental chaos, this episode is for you. And we're super fired up to share this with you because we're diving into mental minimalism. Try to say that 5 times in a row. Mental minimalism, and how doing less might just be your unfair advantage of doing way more of what actually truly matters. You're going to walk away with today the systems that Dave and I use to run a business, launch campaigns, co-create as a couple, and chase freedom like it's a full-time job while keeping your and our minds clear and our calendar less terrifying. I love that. So grab your cup of tea, your trail mix, whatever's going on, and whatever fuels your soul. Let's do this. Let's dive in.
Cup of trail mix. Now,
Cup of trail
that
mix.
is a really good idea, especially if it has like those M&Ms in it.
Can you imagine just sitting down with like a coffee cup and someone just poured in the whole thing of trail mix? I'm thinking like the Costco trail mix.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
like,
I
I'm
would
going to
love
sit
it.
there and binge that, you know?
I mean, it's chocolatey, it's salty,
it's
sweet,
savory.
it's nutty, it's everything you want out of a
Yes.
cup of hot steaming trail mix.
I love it. Yeah. Okay. So listen, do you want to do some life updates?
Well, I mean,
What's happening?
you know, by the time this episode comes out, I will be at the starting line for the race to Roby Creek.
Oh, yeah. So exciting.
Or I may have just finished it and my quads are blown up.
I doubt it.
So I don't think so.
It's going to be good.
It's going to be.
It might be
ouch.
snowy and muddy back there because the snow still has not, completely
Right. So as we
melted.
shoot this, it's
Yeah.
April Fool's Day. It's April 1st. And we got a foot of snow in the mountains, which means the pass on the race to Roby Creek got a foot of snow. And we were up there, 10 days ago, and the snow ruts were
Huge.
Yeah. I mean, they were
Yeah.
waist deep. So there's no way it's going to get cleaned off by then.
I remember
So-
being at the top, and I was just kind of scrambling at the top with my trekking poles, and my foot just went right through the snow, like a foot deep. I was like, "Whoa, wow, okay."
Here we go. Anyway, it won't be any sort of record-setting half marathon
gonna be
type
good,
type times because you climb up 2,500 feet and it's rocky, it's snowy, it's muddy, and there's people that want you to drink shots of Fireball all the way up, which I will not do. Although, that cheeseburger, the bacon cheeseburger stand is like 4 miles in and you're still feeling pretty good.
I'm going to push
at
Otter
that rate.
Pops. Otter Pops, man. They do have Otter Pops.
I did. In fact, I crested last time. Last time it was
Aldate
hot
Summit,
out. Yeah,
yeah.
it was like 80 degrees out. And I crested the summit and I'm like, were those Otter Pops?
I'm like, grab one.
and so, yeah, I actually turned around and I said, could I have 2 Otter Pops? They're like, oh, okay. What kind of, I don't care what flavor. They cut open the tops. They gave them to me and I went running down
That's so good. I wish I had video of that.
eating Otter Pops.
Oh
that
my
was
gosh,
good.
that's so great. Yeah, so we're in the middle of training season, and I mean, this is what we're doing. We're training and racing for the rest of the year, and we have a couple of big adventures. One of them that we didn't share in the last episode, which we're going to share with you now. One of them is we are going to be doing the Grand Teton Loop, which is like a 62. They're saying 62 or 68K in there, so I'm talking like 32 or 34 miles in a day. We're going to do it in a day. So the Grand Teton Loop. This is outside of Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and it's going to be great. I'm really excited. In fact, a couple of days before that, I actually have a 50K race that I'm doing at the Harriman Park in West Yellowstone, so we'll be sharing that with you. And then about a month or so later, I believe, I have another race of which I'm not solid on, so I'm not going to share that one, but it is something that I might, I don't know if I'm going to keep that one on my list or not. I've got to talk to my coach about that. But anyway, about mid-October, early to mid-October, we are going to shoot for the Rim to Rim to Rim Grand Canyon. Now, last year, we did Rim to Rim. This year, we're doing Rim to Rim to Rim, right?
And technically last year we did rim to river to rim,
Right,
which
sorry,
if you
yes.
talk to the purists, they're like, oh, no, you didn't. You did this.
Didn't really do rim. So this is a big effort. So this is really cool. I'm really excited. Although, I mean, the training is, I'm looking for volume, and I love the volume. I know Dave's not a big volume guy, but I'm looking for the volume. Like the longer the run for me, like the more, if I can get into the 4 or 5 hours a day, I'm super jazzed for that. That's a lot of snacks and a lot of aid stations. I'm like, let's go.
Let's just say it's a lot of snacks, and I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
So I am going to say, though, out of the things that you said, you're married to a trail runner when they refuse to talk in miles and gallons anymore. Everything is now either
Ks.
liters or Ks.
Yeah.
We're at the gas station. She's like, put in 20 liters. And I'm like,
what?
what?
What's going on? How many liters am I going through on my hydration vest? Yeah. So it's really good. We're also excited to announce and it'll be happening later in this episode. We're going to talk to you guys about the Cadence to Peak Challenge, which we've just releasing. Also, if you are interested in joining us for our weekly lives, jump in the Get Cadence group or jump on my newsletter where I release the links to register for our lives. And you're wondering, like, why would I join you guys for the lives? Well, because you get private Q&A with us, and we help you break down systems for creators and podcasters. We'll get more into that in this actually episode because this is a really fun episode for us. So really, life is all about that. We've got Western States 100 still coming up. In June, we'll be attending that. We're super fired up. We mentioned that in the last episode. Super fired up to be there.
Not running, content
We
creating.
are not running. We're content creating over
We're
there.
Spectators.
We're super fired up for that. I get to meet my coach, Ann Tisdale, with CTS Coaching, and it's just going to be a blast. It's going to be a blast to hang out with a lot of the elites and a lot of elite creators that you're seeing out there today. So super fired up for that. Can't say more.
And we're lucky. Wendy's dad lives in Forest Hill. So we're actually, we could conceivably just jump on our bikes and just like pedal over there so you don't have to fight the crowds because after the last few years.
It is quite an uphill though, Dave, if you think about it. It's an uphill.
Oh, your favorite thing.
Yeah, it is uphill all the way, just so you know.
Oh, so you're trying to talk yourself into it. Like, this is going to be
like,
great.
This is great.
Uphill is a dopamine hit
let's go.
for Wendy J.
And I also have to figure out my training when we're there. We have to figure out our training when we're there. So where are we going to run? So,
well,
do
you have any running shoes?
Go out the front door. We're in
we are.
Olympic Valley. So anyway, if you're headed to Western States, come visit us. We'd love to see you there. That would be amazing. Yeah, let's dive into some shout outs.
All right.
I really want to acknowledge our amazing community of listeners and social media followers. You guys are amazing. I mean, without you guys, we wouldn't be here. And gosh, it's just awesome. So I'm gonna jump into a couple of these. We just picked, I think, like 2 of them. Maybe 3 of them. So we had an Instagram carousel that went out called Most Entrepreneurs Think They Have a System just because they use a project management tool. Spoiler alert, they don't. That was one that we put out. And the one that was right after that was Everything Changed When I Realized Burnout Isn't a Badge of Honor. Success without systems is just chaos in disguise. These shout outs couldn't be matched better with this episode, Dave. And we had Natty_creator says, it's so true. Building systems is the game changer. Can't wait for the training next week. Sounds like exactly what we'll all need to break free from the hustle. Hello_Russell Media says, absolutely true. So many entrepreneurs learn the way. Hustling 24/7 isn't the flex we once thought it was. A fast track to burnout. But the real success comes from the smart systems that let you scale without being chained to your laptop. Thank you, Russell Media. Healthy and Holy Live says, by the way, been catching up on your podcasts. Incredible value and super thankful for your transparency. So thank you, Healthy and Holy. That's pretty cool. James A. Felt says, too often people claim to own a business, but the harsh truth, they just have a job. True.
That is true.
That is true. And then we had a launch that went out. This was just a post called Before Your Weekend, Do This. And I was talking about wrapping up the weekend strong, how to wrap up your weekend strong. And Jason Palvana says, taking 5 minutes for this makes a big difference. I'm so glad people are getting my reels out there because, I create this and I never know. R.Whereabouts, I was just having a conversation with, I think her name is Ellie from R.Whereabouts. Amazing couple, student and couple. Running around the world shooting adventures, says, love this reminder. A little reset before the weekend can make all the difference.
And why don't we get them on the podcast?
We should, yeah.
I love their stuff.
Their stuff is amazing.
Keep pumping it out.
I
love
will.
what you're doing.
Cassandra Hines says, celebrating our wins is so important even when we feel like we can do more. Love the shot with your head cam on. So inspiring. Yes, so the video was, part of the video cover shot was, we were in, I want to say Snow Canyon, Utah. Snow Canyon outside of St. George, and I had a GoPro on my full face helmet.
Yes, there's camera mounts on everything we own. So
yeah. And then Social with Glam says cleaning today so it doesn't carry over till next week. Love it. I love that. Thank you, Social with Glam. So that's my shout outs. I want to get into this. This is and just a reminder too that if you are listening to this podcast, and I hope that some of our shout outs do make you pause or smile, because this is you guys sharing with us, and maybe,
and we appreciate you so much. Just
we absolutely do.
Taking the time to share your thoughts. There's nothing in there from any haters. We're actually getting to the point where we had some haters.
We have had haters.
I'm so excited when I see that stuff. I'm like, really? This is awesome.
Yeah, we have had haters.
I mean, I feel sorry for you, but
yeah, we had a viral video that released, and a lot of haters jumped in there. It was really funny. It was you'll have to read those. I don't know. They're probably still there. So. It was all about my biggest race mistake, and I don't know, it just went crazy. But a lot of people were like, "Oh, you're so privileged to have to drink special water or whatever it was."
Oh, honey, you don't get enough water. It was something like that. I was like, "Oh, I love it.
You should spend more time with David." So anyway, those are the updates. I want to jump into this because this is such a great episode. And you know what? When I put this together, I was thinking about exactly where we're at, what we're launching, and what we're doing. I'm like, let's just talk about mental minimalism and what it's not, because it's not about being lazy. It's actually about intentionality. And I think that's really important. It's when you choose to be clear about the mental clutter so that you can actually give your energy to actually what truly moves the needle on your mission, your relationship, your peace of mind. And I put this quote in here by Stanford research found that multitasking can cut your productivity by up to 40%. I mean, no wonder we feel like we're spinning our wheels if you're, multitasking.
Heck no, I love to multitask like a slot machine, like stuff
open,
just going, 50 tabs, 3 phone calls,
right?
Doing a chat on the side, and then, having a conversation with you.
And having GPT run in the background.
Plus, you're eating lunch.
I mean, this is why practices like the dopamine resets. Last episode 55, actually can be a game changer because they help you notice how much noise is in your brain and, what you're tolerating and what you're not, where your motivation molecule is going. So start reclaiming your space for that. David Allen actually nailed it when he said, you can do anything, but not everything.
Right. So if you were hoping this episode was going to be about how to say yes to everything, it's not going to be that.
It's not that. And here's the truth, and this hit home actually recently. When everything feels urgent, nothing truly gets the attention it deserves. So let's choose better. Let's choose less, but with more meaning. I was having a gratitude. I was just having a gratitude moment the other day. Every day I have a gratitude moment, and I just feel so grateful to be able to wake up and have the body that I have, to be out there, to train, to have incredible coach and have incredible relationship together with you. I wake up, I get to do this podcast. I get to create as a creator and coach and run our business. And it's really a blessing to not work for anybody but ourselves. And I absolutely love it.
Amen to that.
Yeah. I mean, we do have clients, and that's great. And I love our clients. Absolutely love our clients. They are amazing. They feel like family. Been with us a very, very long time. And, we always have new people coming in, and that's wonderful. But it is really nice to actually be doing the thing that you love, when you wake up. So it's not easy, by the way. If you're looking at Dave and I,
right? It's like extreme accountability, right? Because there's no one to tell you what to do, and no one to make you do it at any point in time. Even a client, right? You can just not get it done, and then you're fired. So I love having the extreme accountability in your own life, and you're in the driver's seat.
But this is why this is exactly how this episode came to be, because I think all my life I've been a systems person, the way I've just rolled through, but I've never put it together so tightly the way that we now have it today, compared to even when we first got together and we're actually working together. Our systems are incredibly tight, and it really gives us the freedom to do what we want when we want, and we can really portion off our time. However, we are very on a timer all day long. We know exactly, like, this is going to take 1 hour. I'm going to hit this time. I mean, we know our timing of what it's going to take. So I want to talk about this first one, which is our systems spotlight. I'm going to do a spotlight on our systems.
Yeah, do it.
Because
you are the systems person, which is funny because
Yeah.
I don't really consider myself a systems person. You've helped me a lot, but I have specific skills, right? And I'm very, very good at what I do. And so skills sometimes take away the requirement of having the system
Right.
because it is, in effect, a system, right? You just know what you're doing. You just sit down, boom, bang it out, and things are good. But with that said,
Yeah.
the organization part, especially with multiple clients, multiple companies, multiple product, like there's
Yeah.
just so many
We've got
things
so
going
much.
on. Plus, we want to have our personal life and our athletic life. Like all that shit's got to be lined up correctly, or
Yeah.
it's going to be more chaos than it is.
For sure. Yeah, we never had systems before that were this tight, I think. And we lived off a lot of like Google Drive and Gmail. And I'm going to start dropping some tools here for y'all, so you know kind of like how we're using this. And this is so exciting actually to share with you because we, as businesses moved along for us, and we've been in the marketing space for a long, long time with clients, and then we kind of turned everything onto like, hey, let's really show people how to do what we do best, with everything that we do. So to be completely transparent, I'll share with you the systems that I'm using today, the tools that we're actually using today. There's a lot more. I can't share everything in this episode or we would run over an hour. And there's other things I want to share with you in this episode. So, but listen, our personal life and our business life is on one foundation tool, and it's called Monday. And I don't know if you've heard of it. It's a project management tool, very similar to ClickUp, Asana, Notion out there. I like Monday for a lot of reasons. I will put the link in the show notes if you're interested. I think there is a 7 or 14-day free trial. If you use my affiliate link, check it out for yourself. But I love Monday for the workflows, and the reason why I love Monday, a couple of reasons, is I love the app. The app works incredibly well, and there's ways that we have organized our business using Monday. I also love it for new business owners who are on a budget, who are bringing in outside freelancers. And when you can bring outside freelancers, and Monday allows you to do it for free as a guest, and you're not having to pay for that collaboration seat, it just makes it even that much better. So, and I love it. Monday's not just also project management in there. They also have third-party apps that give you this entire other flexibility to stay inside their platform. For an example, we have clients that we manage, and we set up a ticketing system inside Monday, which Dave's just still completely blown away here, that the tickets actually come in through these communities that we're managing, and they hit not only my Slack channel, we do have Slack, but they also hit Monday. So I can completely manage all of my ticket requests in Monday. This was used through a third-party app in Monday. So anyway, huge plug on Monday. It's one of our tools. We also love Airtable. Airtable has a sprinkle of AI magic that we really love in there that I can't get the same look and feel on Monday, and we definitely use that. But going back to Monday, again, we do run it for business, and our personal life is in there. So all the courses, all the events that we're doing, anything that we are screenshotting that's going into like a trip planning or anything like that, it's all going into that one system for us. And breaks down. I mean, it's not really a system. It's like a tool to project manage, but then there's other systems that come through that. And this is part of, my friend, everything that we share with you in our coming up live Cadence to Peak challenge of how to do this and scale with impact by using tools like this, because there is a system on how to do that. And I can talk a little bit more if we have time here about that, because, I just want to share, like, tools like Monday and Airtable are great. And sometimes they're not great, especially if you don't know how to use them. If you set them up right, though, and someone has showed you. Now, and Dave and I have been in a lot of high-level masterminds where we've seen other CEOs and founders use these tools and maximize these tools. And they are running very high-level Fortune 500 companies on these tools in a way that I had never thought possible. I have taken that information and used it for myself and
absolutely.
tweaked it. So it's pretty incredible. I mean, the game changer of just saying, hey, I have my life on a project management tool, to actually I'm using the systems that can go in that. Now, one of the things that I teach in our Get Cadence group, which is our free Instagram group, you can join free on my Instagram channel at MS Wendy J, or you can also join our live sessions through our newsletter. So you can check out our newsletter, which we'll link in the show notes below. If you want to join our newsletter, you can just register there. But before, I had like all these tabs open. It was like scattered of emails and Slack messages, and it was just disaster. It was like cross-platform information of chaos. But switching to something like this is like, okay, a couple of dashboards now that I manage, and there's a rhythm. There's a flow every week that I can just jump in. When I hit like plan our podcasts, everything has a flow to it. Like I know exactly where to go. There's a system there built for me. And it's not just like planning, but it's all the way through audio and video and the shorts and the scheduling and our team that's managing and reviewing. All of that is all through these systems that we have.
Yeah. And so you have helped me, incorporate all of these things into all parts of my life. We're not pushing Monday. It just happens to be what we use. But, a lot of people, like I was talking to someone yesterday, he's like, why don't you just put it on your calendar, right? And you get to a point where, number one, you have so many things on your calendar, it starts bleeding, right? Like it's just full. And you can't really delegate from your calendar, So Monday is an incredible place to, scope out a project, whatever it is, and then look at, for me, the first thing I look at is like what needs to be deleted. And second of all is what can I get someone else to do that's better at it than I am so that it's on time. Schedules are not necessarily shareable, right? We do have a shared schedule.
We do.
But it's not really very effective for back and forth. So like Wendy said, she puts together everything for the podcast. Yeah, she puts it together. And then I get to dip into our podcast planning board and get to find out, what I'm going to be talking about. So being able to share it that way, it just, if you ever wanted to take something to the next level, you want to scale it, you want it to be bigger than it is, you got to have a platform.
Yeah.
And I get it. I hate it too.
Oh, for sure. Now, the other thing too I want to share is we have automations firing behind the scenes in all of these systems, updating statuses, pinging editors, tracking podcast content from idea to publishing. That's without us babysitting it. It's just all happening behind the scenes. We have all those automations set up. We're very AI driven. Anything that we can integrate and automate, we do 100%. I mean, I think mental minimalism really helps us brutally get honest with what's essential, what can be automated, and what can be eliminated. There's things that we just don't need to be doing, and I think Dave and I truly follow the 3-bucket rule. Everything ends up in buckets for me. And the 3-bucket rule for me is, eliminate, automate, delegate. Who do I need to get this to so I can actually be doing the work that's my highest and best in our business and our team? So, if it doesn't fit into one, it doesn't stay. So, and I've also known a lot of creators that are using multiple systems, and it's almost too much. And I can tell you, a lot of the systems that I teach now today, you can take the same system and move it through any one of the systems. Like if you're a Sauna lover, great. If you're a ClickUp lover, great. I can teach you how to do the same thing I'm doing in Monday on those other platforms. Or if you're a Notion lover or a Trello lover, I can.
Yeah, they all have their own nuances.
They all have the same thing.
But they all
it's
essentially do the same thing.
Yeah.
But it is setting it up. If you set it up wrong or you overcomplicate it, and that's me, like I get in and I overcomplicate all these processes. But if you set it up clean, it's going to work for you and give you the time to do things in your life that you want to do, as opposed to, something else, right? Like
100%.
It's the first of the month. We could be sitting here. We could be sitting over there doing billing by hand, right? But it's all automated. It's all set up. So we're shooting a podcast instead.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's awesome. I mean, I could do a whole like life class on just like how to run your life on a project management tool. But like one of the things I really love, we just released our podcast system. So if you haven't had a chance to go check it out and you're interested in setting up a system for your podcast and you want to scale your podcast, you can check it out for free. I have a free class I just launched on Udemy. You can click the link in the show notes below. And you can also, if you wanted to scale it outside of just small audio and video, and you want to really scale your video, you can also go to the next course, which is called the Podcast Mastery Blueprint. So check it out. But I mean, just for us to manage this podcast, not just the audio and the video, but our team has a whole management board. We have an editing hub. We have an editing tracker. We have a whole system set up where I can review all of the video shorts and the cover titles for that's going to go out. All the way through all the publishing, because it's easy to record a podcast and then hit release on your audio. But when you get into video and you're actually not just one full episode's releasing on YouTube, you've got, 10 shorts from every episode or whatever comes out of it.
And then all the social media pieces and everything.
All the social media, all the covers.
All of a sudden, it becomes overwhelming very
quickly. And how do you, as the CEO, really stay level-headed and not, be crazy with all your approvals? There's a way you can train your team. This is the stuff I walk through people. If you are listening to this and you're not in my Get Cadence group, jump in the Get Cadence group, please. I would love to see you there, because this is the stuff that I teach, that Dave and I teach every week. We come up with something new to share with you and give away for free. We're like a ton of value. You can pick our brains on all this stuff. But anyway, that's my spiel on systems. I don't want to take any more time, because there's other things I want to talk to you guys about, in this episode.
Let's do it. I'm just going to sidetrack one second here.
Yeah, for sure.
No, it's going to be a minute.
Yeah.
So I have seen a project management type system that's built into a screen.
Uh-huh.
And the screen goes in your kitchen or your foyer, your hallway, and it has all of your life things in it. And if you have kids, it has all of their life things in it. And, all of the events, all of the soccer meets, all of the chores, all those sorts of things. And it's a project management system for your family. I think it's pretty interesting, because it's a touch screen. You can move things around.
That's awesome.
Teach the kids to check it off when it's done. And then the kids don't say, "Oh, I didn't know I was supposed to do that." I'm like, yeah, it's on the board right there. Wednesday, take out the trash. That's your job.
That's another thing. I love that. In some of the tools that we use, we have actually moved away from a PDF checklist for our team. And we actually have SOPs that are a check off list for like our video editors or graphic design team or a project manager team. They're actually checking those off. The checklist thing kind of triggered me to talk about that, because we realized that PDFs are old. Nobody puts them on their desktop. Nobody looks at them anymore. And we wanted to make everything action oriented in our business with our team. So we literally have that stuff set up and the back end as well. And we continue to tweak it. We're tweaking stuff all the time. Every week, my project manager and I are doing something different.
Now, I don't know about you, but for Monday, I turn off all of the notifications.
Yeah.
I know they're important, but I don't want to hear all the pings and dings. What do you do with that?
On my Monday inbox?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have the sound on, but my notifications in my inbox are there, so I always check that. Yeah, because the team tags me on everything, so I need to know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want the crap going up on my screen.
Gotcha.
I don't want to hear the ding, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, when you're managing even a small team of like 6 to 10 people, even if it's 2 or 3 people, I mean, you want to know when you're tagged on there of what people need or if they're stuck on something. So yeah, it's important for me. So I do. It is another inbox to check, but I do feel it's important.
And you don't have to send the Slack or the text, the email, like, is this thing done? Because I've got a meeting and it was supposed to be done today.
That's all
You go
automated.
to the board and you're like, yeah, it's done.
Yeah, even on
Or it's not.
even on Airtable, there's an automation I set up where you can change the status, and that person immediately gets an email that I have made an update on one of the social media posts.
Yeah.
So it's
our team,
really
we want
nice.
them to have their pings on.
Yeah.
Besides, pings make you feel important. So,
Anyway,
so it's a good ego stroke.
I could go on this, but we've got other things I want to share with you in this episode.
Okay, let's go.
One of this is the system spotlight. Another system spotlight I want to put on video ad campaigns, because you have done a phenomenal job, and it's something that I am not in that world. You are in the video ad campaign world, and I thought you could break down, because this one is really big, my friend. This is all about running ads, content campaigns, launching anything. You know how quickly it can spiral into chaos if you're preparing all these assets. And we kind of strip this down to 3 pillars that I want to hear, Dave, you share with us on how our video ad managers can be looking at their content differently.
Right.
And the system that you have that is working.
It's a system that's called Short Star Video. You can look it up on the internets, the interwebs. But it really came out of the fact that video advertising has become very powerful, right? And the problem is a lot of people that run ads, they don't really know how to create powerful creative. And so we created a operating procedure to cover all the different ad types, slots, lengths, formats, and platforms, right? All the things that are out there. And the three things that you really, really want to do, and I guess this could be applied to any sort of advertising. Let's just focus on video advertising. Is number one, knowing your audience, right? And a lot of people, they say, "Oh yeah, I know the demographics. I know the age and the sex and those sorts of things." Yeah, minorly important, but when I say know your audience, like what is their pain point and what is their problem? Because if you're not creating content that speaks to that, it's just noise anymore.
Yeah.
And so you not only have to use the pain points that you perceive that they have, but also the emotion and the language, right? And tie it all together. And it was so easy to do when everything was text-based, but when it's video, like as human beings, we consume with all our senses, right? We're seeing, we're hearing, we're feeling,
Emotional.
all of those
Yeah.
things. And so it just hits differently. And if you've ever been on, Instagram or TikTok or YouTube Shorts, and a piece of video ad content comes up, you look at it and you go, this is an ad, and you just go buy, right? And that means the person didn't really understand the audience, because if they did, the person would be watching it and they wouldn't even really notice that it's an ad. The second thing is you really need to have an expert in the platform itself, because the platforms are so nuanced, right? Google Ads, especially their video sections, different than Meta ads, or it's different than TikTok or.
And this is part of your system.
Yeah,
you're
it's
saying.
definitely.
This is part of your
So
system.
audience is always first, like
Audience,
the
yeah.
audience outline. And then be an expert on the platform is number two. And that means you need to know what's going on with the algorithm and how to create native content for whatever that platform is. Exciting stuff, right? The third thing is, and if you get all of that wrong, is you need to be an expert in the creative, right? The creative is everything when it comes to video advertising. It's like 80% of the formula. And if you miss with that part of the system, with that part of the pillars, you're just never going to hit, right? You're going to spend money, you're going to spend time, you're going to spend a lot of effort and see very little returns. So,
I think
the distillation of all these things turned into this system. And right now the system is a done for you system, but we're moving toward a done with you, or even a DIY, right? Do it yourself type system, where you have the formula to do it. And having that system is like checkbox 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, launch.
Yeah, I think this is great. If you know, and it's a couple of things that I'm thinking of. First of all, if you're like, hey, I don't run ads, so that doesn't really make sense to me. I have an ad manager that does all that. What would you say to them?
Well,
I mean,
so I mostly work with ad managers because they're really, really good at managing the budget, managing the audience, and managing all the campaigns and ad slots and all that sort of thing. And they used to, and they still are, they're good at text ads and those sorts of things. But video is just a whole different animal. Yeah. And so...
but you can skill them up now with Short Start Video.
You can either skill them up or provide the creative for them. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to go about it. I was talking to an ad manager yesterday. He manages 400 campaigns with his team. He doesn't have time to do focused video. So all of the platforms have a built-in like video builder, like you look at Google AdWords, and you can just pull in some stock images that they provide, put your messaging in the same messaging you've got for text ads, and boom, you've got video out there that really doesn't perform very well.
Yeah.
Well, at the end of the day, right, it's a lot like any system or anything you do. Like 99% of what you do doesn't matter at all. And so your goal is to find the 1% that works, right? And that's why a system like Monday or like Short Star Video is that 1%, because it's been repeated over and over and over, and all those failures have stacked up
refining
right
yeah.
into the one thing that actually works.
That's so cool. Yeah. So I'm very foundational in project management, and Dave's really built that system for video ads, and it's been phenomenal. You've done a really great job. We've seen a lot of success with the clients.
Yeah, the thing right now is that it's done for you, right? And so we have a limitation on how many people we can work with, and right now that's 4 per month, and we're bumping up being maxed out against that
Right.
because I have to get in there and really think about it. Like knowing an audience, it sounds so simple, right? Like it's just it's just people that
100%.
want to go. Like I'm working with schools. It's just people that want to become a medical assistant. No, they probably don't even know they want to be a medical assistant yet. They want to have something that's fulfilling out of their lives and something that they can apply as a job or a career anywhere they go. And they're probably 18 to 24. They're probably female. There's all these different things, and you get inside their head. And I created a piece of creative for the owners of that company yesterday
Yep.
and demoed it to them. And literally, the owner of the company, this lady, she started crying. She's like, that is the message, right? That's the thing that's going to hit. And I'm like, I was hoping to make you cry.
This ties in.
That's the goal, right? Like have an emotion, laugh, cry, scared, move forward, whatever it is. We're hacking your minds.
This ties into the chief creative officer over at Harmon Brothers. Do you know the Harmon Brothers?
Oh yeah, of course, man. I love their stuff.
They're an agency that's behind the viral video ads like Squatty Potty, Purple, Mattress, Chat Books. I'm trying to think of some other ones that they did. But Daniel Harmon.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Harmon said, if you're not telling a story that connects emotionally, you're just throwing money at the algorithm. Literally.
Yeah. They started online, and now they're doing Super Bowl commercials, right? So, you start at the small screen and you end up in a stadium.
Okay, one other system we got to jump into. So you guys have learned, this, and we're just going through this so quickly, Dave. And we talked about like workflow systems. We talked about video ad systems, and you're probably listening to this right now, going, "How does this turn back around into mental minimalism?" The reason is because when you have systems built and you're starting down the intentionality and your energy can go into what really matters, you're not taking the distractions of the everything else, of the phone call that you just took that's now costed you an hour, which you could be putting on something else of your time and energy that requires you stuff. And also portioning your time and energy to that automate, delegate, eliminate.
And like Alex
framework.
Hormozi says, you don't lack motivation.
Right.
You lack clarity, right? Yeah. And systems create clarity because
100%.
It's step by step. And so you'll never find Alex and Layla like winging it.
Oh, those guys
those guys.
I learn from them. I model the stuff that they do in here all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Or Gary Vee,
100%.
his maximum meeting that he'll spend meeting with someone, unless it's a big client, right, is 15 minutes.
Yeah.
That's it. Like I can get the whole thing done because the meeting is structured in such a way that whatever needs to get out of it, is out in 5 minutes,
Yeah.
and the rest of it can be, brainstorming.
Yep, 100%. So there's one other system that might shock you, but I do want to talk about it because it's something we are including in the Cadence to Peak Challenge. And you're probably wondering, like, what's going on with Cadence to Peak and mental minimalism? We're going to talk about that here in a minute, but it's something that we did include because communication is at the heart of everything we do. We wake up and we communicate in business, love, leadership, life. It's the one thing. I mean, connection is impossible without communication. Let me say that again. Connection is impossible without communication. And this is why I've included this, because it's a system. I mean, whether you're speaking to your partner, your audience, your team, your guest on your podcast, your ability to truly connect through this lens or with the other person depends on how clearly and consciously you are communicating, how you are doing that. Now, this isn't just personal development fluff, by the way. This is the secret sauce behind Pixar's most beloved stories, and the world's most trusted leader organizations use this same system, the same model of communication. And viral video, incredible guy, Brendan Kane, wrote the book Hook Point, and what was it, 1 million followers?
1 million followers, yeah.
Teaches this model, this system to creators. So it's why we included it, and they all understand one thing, because when your message lands with clarity, like Dave said, it connects with depth. And Dave was talking about systems create clarity. Also, your communication creates creates clarity, you know? So in this upcoming challenge that we're going to talk about here in a minute, we're going to talk about stripping down communication to its most powerful element so you can create more with impact in fewer words, whether you're building your brand, building a relationship, building a business partnership, speaking to your audience, your guest, as a creator, creating media, whatever it is. This is a program that we put together called Speak to Connect to unlock everything that changes. You will learn your communication model, other people's communication model, so you know how to use that to your advantage. And also, it gives you the reason why that person is acting like they do. Because when it's frustrating you and you're like, man, why is that person like this? You're like, oh, that's their communication model. That's exactly how they live.
Why don't I drop down to their communication model, right? And meet them where they're at. And then all of a sudden
100%.
It turns around. They're not frustrating. They're moving in the direction that you all intended to move in the same play, in the same time, so.
It's one of the things that when I think of mental minimalism, it's like it takes a huge load off when you know a communication model and you can now share it, your communication with other people, your team. I mean, it's way easier for me to connect with my team knowing kind of like what their communication models is. Like I pretty much know what their communication model is. I know how to connect with someone that is, in that harmonizer. I'm a harmonizer. Dave's a rebel. Should have worn your rebel shirt today, Dave. I think that was in the last episode.
I did earlier. So, that communication system. So it's called PCM, right? And process communication model. We are trained coaches and trainers in that method. It came to us via Brendan Kane.
It did, yeah.
But I use it in everything that I do
100%.
In terms of creating, video advertising. And here's a secret, and I hope she's not watching. So the client yesterday that cried, that was predicted outcome for me when I showed it to her because I know her process. I know her emotional level and I know her triggers. And I said, okay, if we're going to have to put out a piece of demo content, I'm going to make it specifically for her. Yes, it's about her business. And yes, because there's only 6 personality types, it's a common theme, right? Like this isn't going to be a one-off. But for me, when I sent it, when I hit send, I said to myself, if I don't get back that she was emotional and I expect crying, I expect tears, I've missed the mark. And it was so funny. Like literally in 5 minutes, she sent back, this makes me cry. This is the best.
So great.
I was like, okay, thank you. That's the biggest compliment in the world because it is, right? Like we all have these communication channels that are a known thing. And when you know that, it becomes super powerful. I don't want to call it a super weapon, right? Because that sounds like it's a negative, but it's super powerful. Imagine if you can make your spouse happy, just by using the right words in the same thought, right? You can communicate it differently and then they're a little ticked off. So
Dave and I still run cohorts through our Speak to Connect program throughout the year, and you can go check it out on my website, Speak to Connect. However, we are shifting that now into our program, Cadence to Peak, which is a mastermind actual invite. And we've never, ever said this on our podcast episodes, but because this is happening in the next 5 weeks, and it'll be like 3 weeks by the time you guys get this this episode is out, we would love to invite you into this. And the reason we've shared this mental minimalism conversation is because we're sharing with you the tools and really the hacks and workflows that kind of help us have the freedom that we have today. And it seems like all the creators are out there like pushing, like I have the best this, I have the best that, check this out. No one actually shares the crummy behind the scenes of the things that actually do the job to get you there. Everyone says, yeah, I have this product that gets you freedom. I have this thing that does this for you. But like we're drilling down and say, these are the actual things that you're also using, but you don't share that. You don't share that. You're just like selling your one thing. So this is why Dave and I are super passionate about this. And so it's called Cadence to Peak. Doors are officially open. We're super excited. This is our next mastermind cohort. And the Cadence to Peak Challenge is live, and it's built specifically for creators, podcasters, YouTubers, video producers, media producers, social media managers, project managers, team leaders, content creators that have big visions and want to scale. Anybody that wants to go from like, hey, I'm creating, whatever the content thing is, or I'm project managing whatever the content is, and I want to go from like 7 posts a day or 7 posts a week to 14 posts a week, or 28 posts, whatever it is. We have the system, and it works incredibly smoothly, and not just for social media. I'm just saying that's one of the pieces, or for video ads, even for ad managers. If you're an ad manager, this would be really helpful for you to get into. So what we're going to break down, and I want to share this with you, is because this is your time, this is your space to finally reset your systems right now and reclaim your time to build a rhythm that supports your peak performance in your business and life. And inside this challenge, you're going to learn to build these content systems to streamline things like podcasts, social media, video ad campaigns like David's talking about. So you're not reinventing the wheel every time, and you're not frustrated or wasting a ton of money with your ad manager or hiring an agency that's doing it for you that you still don't have hands on or control of your systems, because now they are owning all of that. I just had a gal that I'm coaching that's been really frustrated. This agency she fired because she has no way to control everything that's happening behind the scenes that was doing everything for her. Yeah, her stuff was growing, but she was like disconnected from all of it. So yeah, this is inside the challenge. You're going to discover what Dave and I just got done talking about, that personal communication style and the 7 universal types of process communication model. So you can speak to connect on camera with your guest, with your team, in your personal relationship, your life, your family, even in your team. So I think it's just really incredibly powerful.
And inside there, Wendy shares a lot of the systems and how to set them up. If you want to scale, it means you want to do more. You got to have a system. And if you want to do it better, you've got to have a system. And you put those things together, right? You're doing it better and you're doing more at the same time.
Yep.
And it's so much easier. You will knock it out of the park.
And our last one is we're going to apply the behind the scenes video ad strategies that David was talking about for top campaigns that you learn how to convert these. So if your ad manager is not doing this, you may want to bring this to the class, to this. So we really encourage you to join the Cadence to Peak Challenge now, and the link will be in the show notes. If you go to the Cadence to Peak Challenge website and it's full, please jump on the wait list, and we'll make sure you are first in line for the next one rolling forward. And all transparency, we can't teach this in 5 days because it is a 5-day challenge. So in all transparency, we are giving you sneak peeks into all of this, and hope that you would come hang out with us for a good 10 weeks of a full-on insider mastermind with us. And then we could teach you all the behind the scenes, truly like 100% dive into everything that, you can wrap, whatever you need to scale inside that we're going to be giving in that mastermind. But 5 days, we've got a guest speaker we're going to bring in. It's some success stories are going to be there. It's really, really incredible. So anyway, had to announce that. That's what mental minimalism is all about, to allow us the freedom to actually get these things done and be intentional about the way we're moving through life. So final takeaways. If you're listening to this and you just say, hey, what's my takeaways? I don't want to join your challenge. Okay, we get you. No problem. But listen, number 1, audit your digital space. Clear the clutter. Emails, apps, open tabs, unused tools. Delete, organize, breathe. Less noise, more clarity. Number 2, choose 1 peak priority per day, not 5. One thing that's going to make your intention today. Okay, let that be your anchor, and then build rhythm around it. Number 3, this is a big one, my friend. Say no with love. Identify the one thing this week that's draining your clarity and opt out of it. Lovingly, in a nice way, firmly. But no is a full sentence. Like, I just can't do it this week. I'm sorry. That's the way I look at our schedules too. I'd love to meet my friend for coffee on Thursday from like 2 weeks ago, but it's just a no this week. It's just not happening. I can't get in my schedule. So stay intentional.
The power of no.
Yeah.
Hey, that should be our next episode.
Power of no.
I like it.
So honestly, this is a real gentle nudge, my friend. If you are a podcaster, a creator, a YouTuber, a social media manager, or the visionary that's quietly running all the behind the scenes, we want you to know we see you, and we have a ton of creators following us too. So this is why we're like, wow, we should put this together, and we want everyone to just excel in everything they do, be successful. And it's why what we want for you. We don't want you to have more hustle. We want you to have a rhythm that holds you together, a system that honors both your creativity and your capacity of who you are. So,
Phew, that was a lot for an episode.
Yeah, this is a lot. So that's exactly what that Cadence to Peak Challenge is. It's a 5-day guided reset to help you clear the clutter, dial in your systems, and reclaim your flow. We'd love to have you there. We'll drop the link in the show notes below here. No pressure. Just a loving invite from Dave and I to say, hey, simplify, systematize. Don't waste your money on video ads or your ad manager. Don't waste your money on purchasing project management tools and don't use them. So yes, know that these are the roots that are creating the chaos if you're not having these systems. I mean, these are absolute game changers for you. So that's it. Dave, anything else?
No, everything else would be too much. So let's close it up because people need to get on to
your life and business,
building their system.
Hey, well, we would love your thoughts, your feedback on any of our podcast episodes. We'd love your shout outs. We'd love it if you could leave us a review on Spotify, a comment on Apple Podcasts. We would absolutely love it if you follow us over on YouTube. If you're a YouTuber, we would love that. And
yeah, and if you're getting something good out of it and you know someone that could probably use a little help with systems, drop them a link, because that's the only way podcasts really grow, right? It's a grassroots sort of thing. So share us and we'd appreciate it.
And if you know someone that you think could be a great guest, I mean, we're all about Embers Rising,
that's a bold move.
Throw us a DM and say, hey, I have someone in mind that might be a great guest for you guys. So yeah, I mean, we're always here. Don't feel afraid to reach out to us. We see you out there. So, all right. Wrapping things up, as always, keep igniting what's possible in your life, fueling the embers inside you, and we are sending you our biggest aloha.
Aloha.